Hello everybody and welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. I am back at the shop and quite a bit of things have changed and improved since the last time I've played this game. They've made a lot of updates. There's been a lot of DLCs released, and one of those DLCs has been the Porsche DLC. So I asked on Twitter, I have a couple cars I wanted to restore, and I asked on Twitter what you guys would want to see. And it looks like it was an overwhelming vote for this car right here, which is a Porsche 911 RS. It is a 946, so a 1993 Porsche 911. Let's go ahead and take a look at the car stats real quick. As you can see, 1993 Porsche 911 RS, America. It's a 946. So we did find this in a junkyard, as you can tell, because, I mean, look at it. It's missing a ton of stuff. Most of the engine's gone. There's pretty much no interior. The roof is all damaged. It's all messed up. So this is the car that we're going to be restoring today. And I have some other cars on the list that we'll probably get to next based off of your guys' votes on Twitter. So thank you guys so much for voting. And I hope you enjoy the restoration. So let's just take a look at this thing a little before we really kind of get down to the nitty gritty of tearing this thing apart and getting it completely back to running and perfect order. So just quickly looking over the car, it's got 153,000 miles on it, so it's quite a high mileage Porsche, I would say. Stock horsepower is 262 horsepower. We have not done anything to it. These are just the parts. So the current value of the car, we bought it for $18,000. We can currently sell it for $16,000, and we'll lose $2,000 if we sell it right now. So $18,000, we'll see how much we actually spend. I have $733,000 in the bank, so we'll see how much it costs to completely restore this car. We'll end up making some money on it. Don't know if we're going to do performance mods. Maybe we will. I don't know. Haven't decided if we want to try to get a bunch of horsepower out of it. I think it would be pretty cool, but we'll see. So first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and get this thing to the car wash and clean it up before we really start tearing it down. Let's go ahead and clean that interior real quick. And then once that's done, the interior already looks so much better. I mean, look at it. So much better already. Let's see the transformation from painting the outside. And getting all that dust and dirt off of it. It is super rusty, but underneath it looks like it's a blue. That's interesting. Okay, couldn't really tell what color it was. Looks like a blue. So yeah, looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and we will move this into the shop and we will start tearing this apart. So if you haven't watched any of my Car Mechanic Sim kind of restoration videos before, what I usually do is I kind of like give you a little brief overview of what I'm about to do, and then I kind of do it. This process takes quite some time. So there's a little bit of fast forward sections and there's a little bit of, you know, sit here and talk sections, but there's a lot to do on this car. We're gonna have a lot to work on, and it's gonna take quite some time to get it completed, but I think it'll be worth it when it's done. This thing looks awesome as it is, kind of. Well, I mean, if it wasn't so messed up, it looks pretty good, but we'll see what happens in the future with how it turns out. I think it's gonna look really, really nice. So what we're gonna do is we're pretty much just gonna do the teardown right now. I am going to remove pretty much every single piece. And as we go, let me just go ahead and remove. We don't need any of these things out of my shopping list. As we go and remove things, we are going to be adding them to our shopping list. And there's some things we can fix, and there's some things we cannot fix. Let me just go ahead and give you guys a brief little overview of my toolbox here. As you can see, I have all the repair skills. So we can repair pretty much everything, which is good. And we're just gonna see if we can save as much money as possible by fixing everything we can without having to purchase new parts. Unfortunately, though, because the motor is missing most of the pieces, this is what's probably gonna cost us the most amount of money to fix. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start with the suspension. We'll get the front suspension completely torn out. We'll work on the rear suspension, and then we'll work on getting that motor out last. So let me go ahead and get this front suspension out, and then we'll move on to the next. All right, front suspension is removed. What we can do is we can work our way and start doing the back. We'll do the rear suspension. We got to get these rear drive axles out so we can remove the gearbox, so we can actually pull the motor and put it on the engine stand. And I can show you one of the cool updates that they did, which I think was a massive update. It was a little tiny feature change, but in my opinion, it filled a gap of one of the biggest things that I think was an issue with this game. So let me rip out this rear suspension, and then we'll work on pulling this motor out. Okay, the rear suspension is completely removed. We can work on getting this gearbox out of here now. And once we remove this gearbox, we should be able to pull what is left of the motor. There's not much, but we should be able to pull what's left. We'll go ahead and we'll get the clutch out of the way, pressure plate and release bearing and all this stuff. We'll get this removed just so we don't have to deal with it on the engine stand. There we go. So what we can do now is we can get this car lowered on the ground. We'll head over and we will grab the engine hoist, the engine crane, and we will pull this engine right out of this car. There is oil in it. Okay, usually there's not oil in engines that are missing half of it and that come out of a junkyard. So we got to definitely check that. Let's go ahead and put this under and drain it. I believe that's the only fluid, and there was barely anything in there. It was like 2 seconds. So let me just double check. It doesn't look like that's where the oil goes when you're done. You can't remove that part. We can remove that fuse box up front, but we can do that when this is down on the ground, which we might as well just go ahead and do now. So I think we're good to pull the motor. Let's go ahead and give it another shot. And the motor's out. Very nice. Let's go ahead and put the crane back. I just shoved the motor into my pocket. Like I said, we can't remove this piece. We can put oil in it, but there's no oil to go anywhere after that. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this outside of this car. We're missing a lot of pieces to this car. We're gonna end up spending a lot of money. Let's go ahead and pull this door off. And then I think the only other thing is this fender, and I think that's it. There's no glass. There's nothing. We'll go ahead and go to the interior removal, and we'll just pull this steering wheel out, since I'm pretty sure that is the last piece to this car that is still in here. So let's take a look at the parts list real quick. Scroll through. Everything's white, which means nothing is on. So this car is completely stripped down and removed to just a bare shell. So what I like to do next, this is just me personally, I like to do the welder now. Because now, with no parts on it, we get to see it work. Look at that. Has to be the most satisfying tool in this whole garage is the welder. Look at that. Ooh, look, it's got a little RS down there. That's nice. It cleans up really good. This blue is actually not bad. I really like this blue. I have no clue what I'm going to do for color. We have a bit of ways before we get to that point. So now that that is done, one thing that we're going to do really quickly, we're going to separate these rims and tires so we can hopefully repair those rims. And then we also will know what size tires that we'll need. So let's go ahead and put that motor on the stand. As you can tell, we're missing a lot. There we go. Everything is completely torn down from the motor. We have every part that we need in our inventory, and we can start working on repairing some stuff. So let's go ahead and just do the body work, since, well, actually the only thing we can repair is this door. That's it. That's the only body part we can actually repair. So we're pretty much gonna need to buy every single body part to this car eventually. So that's gonna be expensive. But this is everything I need to repair that just came off of this car. And as you can see, it's quite a bit of stuff. 7 pages of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff repaired. Okay, we have just repaired every single part. So now what we need to do is we need to actually remember the controls and go into the tablet. And this is where I'm going to go through and pretty much buy everything that I know we can't repair. Okay, I think I have purchased everything that I need as of right now. Anything else I'll need to purchase is something that I could have repaired, but either broke during the repair process or it was completely missing from the vehicle in the first place. So what I might do before we actually get into building the car and doing the suspension, because I think we're all set up. I think I've got everything I need for that. I think we're going to do the engine, because I do want to show you guys the new part or the new feature that they added that I was really hoping they would from the start. So before we get going, this is it right here. As you can see in the engine stand menu, previously when I played this game last, you couldn't access the tablet. It was a really, really big thing that I thought, yeah, it really sucks. You have to go all the way out of the tablet every single time. And now you can just go straight into the tablet and use your tablet normally as you would. So that is really, really nice. I really, really like the fact that they added that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go through our list here and just see if there's anything in the performance shop that we can purchase to make this thing really fast. Because while I was tearing it down, I was thinking about it and I thought, you know what? We need to do that. We need to make this thing quick. So I'm going to build up this motor. This part, I don't know if I'm going to speed up or if I'm just going to skip to the end, because it's going to be a lot of going into the menu, because if you remember, half of this motor was missing when we got it. More than half of this motor was missing. So I'm going to have to be going into this thing buying a lot of these parts quite often. So I'm going to go ahead and put this motor back together. I will show you guys the process as I'm doing it, or I will show you the final product. But anyway, I will be right back. All right, so here it is. Here is the motor all put together. It is a very, very intricate, interesting, really cool layout motor. Boxer engine, piston sideways. It's really cool. It's cool to put together. A lot of fun. I highly suggest if you're interested in cars in any way or working on cars or anything like that, I highly suggest you pick this game up, because it's really, really cool. You can do everything that you want to do in real life and not spend a bunch of money and not get your hands super dirty. So it's pretty cool. And it helps you along the way, which you don't get in real life. But yeah, it's done. Looks really good. If you can see our shopping list, as you can tell, we don't have much. We have a couple suspension components. This is just to confirm that everything that we've repaired is still there and working. So in case we need something, we know what it is. But the motor's done, which is awesome. All performance parts. We got performance, pretty much anything that we could. Throttle, ignition wires, pistons, fuel rail. We even went back here and we have the performance clutch, fuel filter, alternator, power steering pump. No performance alternator, unfortunately. But pretty much everything that we can do performance-wise has been done to this motor. Look how nice and shiny and awesome it is. Let's go ahead and shove this right into our pocket and just carry it around with us until we're ready to put it in. So what we're going to do now is we're pretty much going to start with putting this thing back together. So I'm going to work my way up to the front here so we can focus on trying to get this stuff done, because we have quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and get this car up in the air. And I'm going to start working on the front suspension. I'm actually going to do the front and the rear, and then I'll come back with you once we get that, once we're ready to drop the motor. We're getting there. It's getting pretty close. Okay, so it looks like currently we are doing pretty good. I think we've got the rear suspension done. We don't have the drive axles in because we don't have the transmission in. The front suspension's done. I didn't put the rims on. We have the brake servo, which we could actually fill up now if we wanted. So let's go ahead and get this car down on the ground so we can also get this motor in. I'll quickly go up here and we'll go ahead and just fill this up real quick. And then I believe we're ready to drop the motor in. And then all we really need to do is put the transmission back on, put the drive axles back in, put the rims on, make sure it's all good on fluids, and I believe everything mechanical at that point will be good. So let's go ahead and get the engine crane over here so we can drop this motor that's been in our pocket. Let's go ahead and put this in. Go ahead and remove it. And there's a couple things that I noticed over here that we actually missed out that we need to purchase. A good example is we need the power steering fluid reservoir and we need an oil filter. Those are two things that are very important. So let's go ahead and just put those on and put those in. We also need to get some exhaust sections, but I believe we're actually good to fill up the power steering fluid reservoir. And then I think we're good to fill up the oil. So we have oil, power steering fluid, brake fluid, washer fluid, which is pretty much all the fluids that we need. Let's go ahead and top this up. There we go. And we'll go ahead and we'll fill up the oil while we're at it, just so we don't forget it later on. Very easy to forget when you're completely tearing a car apart and putting it back together. And you just go, oh, yeah, that's right. You go to drive it and it goes, nope, we don't have any oil. Yeah, that's right. Totally forgot about it. All right, so looks like everything up here is good. It looks like we gotta just look at that motor in that car. Barely fits. Let's go ahead and put it up, and then we can put that transmission back in. There we go. Oh, look how good that looks. So shiny. That looks awesome. I think, as far as I can tell, I think we're good mechanically besides rims. I think we got everything. Look at that exhaust. It's so shiny. All right, let's drop this thing back down. Look at that. That looks so good. I think it's officially time that we put the rims on it. Now we need to get into doing all the body parts. Anything that we're missing. The only thing that I know for a fact that we were able to repair was this front left door. And there we go. That was it. I don't even think we had a mirror on it. Nope. And we don't have any glass. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all the body panel pieces purchased. Okay, I believe I have everything I need. We should be able to just slap this thing together now. Put all the windows in it. Make sure we get that cabin sealed up. We have no interior yet either, so that's something that we're gonna need to purchase, but that will be very easy to do. No worries there. Go ahead and get the back of the car done. Rear bumper, let's get that trunk on there. Let's get these tail lights in. Go to the front. Get the fenders on. We'll get the hood on. The front bumper, we're gonna need to get some license plates for this thing. But we'll get some cool license plates. We won't put any default. Definitely gonna need a paint job as well. But it looks like all the pieces on the outside are good. So now we just need to go in and get the interior pieces done. So looks like very aggressive race seats. I'm sure we have some Porsche seats to purchase. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to purchase some nice custom license plates for this thing. And that should be it. We should be at 100% for everything after that. Let's go ahead and put the interior in. Got two brand new 964 seats, as well as a new 964 steering wheel. And then let's go ahead and get back to normal mode. And we'll put on our new license plates. Got some fancy license plates, some Florida plates, of course, because you can do anything to your cars in Florida. It's amazing. 93946, really, really nice. And I think we're done. I think we're officially done. Let's go ahead and check on the car status list. As you can see, 100% on all the body panels, all the interior pieces, and then it looks like every single mechanical piece as well. So we are officially done restoring the vehicle, not completely done. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move it to the test path so we can make sure that the alignment is good, and it is definitely not good. So we want to make sure we get the alignment set up properly. There we go. Alignment is good. And then we will also make sure we align the headlights because those are all over the place. I really wish headlight alignment in real life was this easy, because it is not. I've adjusted many headlights and it's always a pain. It's so much of a pain because the adjusters are always usually super tiny. You can barely get a wrench in there, and then you turn it and you get like half a millimeter of movement, and you've got to sit there for 4 hours and turn it. So let's go ahead and take it to the paint shop and let's get this thing one color. It looks really nice all put together, although the different colored body panels aren't the best. So let's see what we want to do. This is the factory blue. Honestly, I really like this factory blue. It's nice and like dark, kind of looks like a black at some angles, but it's like this really, really dark blue. We have a bunch of factory colors here: white, black, silver, kind of a glossy black, maybe a more gloss black, metallic black, red. There's that blue. Got kind of a cream, I guess, more of a silver, and then a brighter blue. Ooh, I like this silver. Look at this. That looks really good. I really like that. I think we're gonna do this. I think we're doing the silver. Let's go ahead and paint the car silver. As much as it would have been nice to paint it the original color, this look how good this silver looks, especially under these lights. That looks so good. Okay, so the last thing we need to do, we need to take this thing to the dyno. We need to see what we've just done to it. We're gonna double check real quick the tuning on the car. We're gonna add ourselves a 6th gear, and we're gonna move this up to about, let's do about right there. No, maybe one little click left, a couple little clicks down. There we go. Actually, we're going higher. Let's go. Let's do that. I think that'll be good. We'll apply that. Give ourselves a 6-speed, and then the last thing we need to do, let's go ahead and run this dyno, and let's see what kind of horsepower we're making. Stock horsepower, 265. Stock torque is 240 foot-pounds. Let's go ahead and see what all these performance mods are going to get us. It's also good to know that the motor can run, and it's healthy, and it sounds good, so we haven't missed anything. No fluids missing. Let's go ahead and see what we're going to get here. That is very high on the charts. And 477 horsepower and 416 foot-pounds of torque, so an 82% increase in horsepower, 215 horsepower increase, and a 74% torque increase, 176 foot-pounds of torque. So quite an improvement from the stock. Doubled the horsepower easily. Very nice. Very, very nice. So let's go ahead and get this thing out. Not on the lift. That's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to get this thing out in front of the shop. See this thing in the sunlight. There it is. There it is. I don't know if you remember what it looked like before, but it did not look like this. This is quite an improvement. Very, very nice. It looks so good all put together. I love this color too. This like silver is amazing. Can we just pop the trunk? Look at that motor. Look at that. It's so nice. Let's go on the inside. I want to sit in the seat. Ah, look at this. This would be a really nice car to drive. This would be a ton of fun to drive. Speaking of driving it, let's actually, let's take it out to, we're not going to go to the test track. What we're actually going to do is we're going to go to the high speed track because I've done the racetrack and, gotta be 100% honest, it's difficult. The driving in this game is difficult to say the least. So we're going to go ahead and do the top speed track and let's just see what kind of top speed we can get in this thing. There is a way. There we go. We can change some camera angles here. There we go. Oh, it sounds good just on idle. Let's see. Let's hear how it sounds on acceleration. Okay. It's not too unwieldy. We didn't break the tires in anything but first, which is really good. Most of the cars who put a lot of horsepower in first gear it just goes forever. Second, third, and fourth, you're spinning your tires. This is really good. We're easily going to hit 200 miles an hour in sixth gear. Very nice. What are we going to hit before we absolutely destroy this car at the end of the runway, which is coming up very, very quickly? We're going to absolutely obliterate it 220 miles an hour into the wall. All right. Well, thank God there's no damage in this game. Otherwise, all our hard work would have just instantly disappeared. But take a look. This thing is so nice. It looks good. It sounds good. It runs good. Oh, this is so nice. Very, very nice. That's the last thing to do. Donuts. You got to do donuts. This is what everybody probably does with cars that they restore right before they sell them. The mandatory donuts. Just absolutely shredding those brand new tires and just ruining everything that we just did. Oh, I'm completely gone. I'm lost. I don't know where I am. Oh, there was the tire. Okay. All right. This thing is awesome. This thing is really cool. Let's go ahead and head back to the garage and we can take a look at how much we spent on the car and how much we're going to earn and see how good this car restoration and flip actually ended for us. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the thing. Let's do the car status. So take a look at this. We bought the car for $18,000. We put a lot of money into it. Parts value $70,000, body value $44,000, performance part value $75,000, condition bonus $57,000. So we're gonna make a profit on this car of $228,000, selling for $246,000. So really, really profitable. Worked out really well for us. I hate to say goodbye because we spent so much time on it, but at the same time, I want that $246,000. And there's plenty of Porsches to find in junkyards or at the auction that we can always do again in the future. I actually have another Porsche in my parking lot that is just waiting to be restored. So let's go ahead and sell this thing. $246,000. I will take that. Thank you very much. That is awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed. I always enjoy doing Car Mechanic Sim. I need to do it more often. I always enjoy doing it. You guys enjoy watching it. So I'm going to try to do this more often. I have a couple other cars that I plan on restoring. Like I said, that are in my parking lot. Nothing at the shop currently. So if you're interested in seeing what I might restore next or even voting on what should I restore next, just go ahead and go follow me on Twitter. I'll post up a poll and some screenshots of things that I'm thinking about restoring. Link for that will be in the description. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single one of you for enjoying my content for so long. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. I don't say it enough and I'll never say it enough, but thank you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.